What up, y'all? What up, though? It's episode number 10 of SISTAZ Talking Ish on the Real Ish Radio Network.
For sure.
For sure. So we are 3 sisters plus 1. Our favorite sister is here as well. Yes. We are joined together by our marriages to 3 brothers. And we are here every week discussing us and how we are and topics, hot topics and other topics that we decide to come up with and whatever is off the top of our head.
Exactly.
So, hey, sisters.
Hey.
First of all, let's introduce ourselves. Let's start. I am
Yes.
Tiff.
Why y'all introduce yourselves? We haven't done this before. I'm going to try to give me a second.
It's okay.
Yes.
All right, so that was Kalia who just walked off for a second. I'm Tiff.
I am Kyra. I am Kalia's little sister.
And I am Salita. Hello.
Hello, everyone. So let's start first, sisters. Let's talk about our week. What was your week like? I'll go last because my week was pretty cool too. So, Salita, you want to talk about your week, girl? How'd it go?
It was not the best.
Aw.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was okay. I don't have anything to talk about.
The usual work and life.
Yep.
And yeah. Okay.
Just going through the woes of new employment.
Oh gosh, adjustments.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. What about you, Miss Kyra? You had a lovely special week.
I did.
Yes.
So I turned 35 this week. So milestone birthday.
Hey.
My husband surprised me with a sunrise hot air balloon ride. And then we went to dinner and I got some new earrings.
Wait, those are new earrings?
Yes.
Oh,
Super
pretty.
cute.
Diamond earrings that I've been eyeing. And that was really it. Hung out with the family.
Listen,
He did a good job. He did a good job.
Yes, he did. Good job. So how was a hot air balloon? We went on one last year, but what did you think about it?
It was really peaceful and serene. Like you feel like you're kind of like gliding through the
Like
air.
you're like legit floating.
It's like like you're floating. So it was just really peaceful. You get to like see all of Arizona, which we have a really beautiful landscape here. Like even though it's brown, it's just a really beautiful landscape, especially like to see the sunrise and you're like first thing in the morning. So It was really pretty.
Oh, awesome, man. Go ahead, Mr. Ham. Hey.
Mr. Ham.
Ham bone.
Ham bone. Let's see. So my week was really cool, pretty ordinary. I had a lot to do with work, both jobs and my business. I had a lot going on, but it was a busy week. But one thing that my husband did, I got massage number 2, y'all. Hey, thank you for the referral.
Okay.
My husband hooked up with Kyra, somebody that she referred him to, and this lady, what's her name?
I can't remember, but she's
I
amazing.
can never remember her
She's
name.
a traveling masseuse,
Oh
but she
gosh.
is amazing.
Listen, I'm going to figure your name out, ma'am. And next week, you're getting a full-on shout-out because homegirl worked it. First of all, I realized how jacked up I am. Like, I got all kind of issues with my shoulder, my back, and stuff. And she was like every couple minutes, she would stop and be like, ooh, you got knots here, or you got this here, or you got here. Do you stretch? And I'm like, well, dang, call me out. But
Like, I thought I was doing a good job.
I did too.
Yeah.
Like, so I gotta do better with my stretching and warming up and all that. I just like to get into the workout. So it was so wonderful and peaceful. I had it Thursday and it was the perfect ending to my week. Not Thursday, Wednesday. Then guess what happened? The Cranfors had a pool party. I know you came later on. She came. You came at the right time though. She came when the French toast came.
Get in the pool.
Listen, it was nice to get out there and be in the pool and relax. And then Rico fired up the grill. We call it Kenny Hanna. It's like one of those flat top grills he has. He grilled some French toast and like straight up had like brunch for dinner. And it was
why I can't succeed in life. But keep going.
It's hard. It's hard. Y'all don't make it easy.
I mean, you know what? I literally looked in the mirror when I was in there. I'm like, you know what? I think I look okay.
Like, this is fine.
We're just gonna
roll
out with it.
He was like,
hey, listen, I'm good. I'm happy with how I am.
Not really. Okay.
What about your week, sis?
I had a pretty chill week. I really didn't do much this week. We did have the pool party. The food was absolutely amazing. Thing with the pool party is my parents were leaving, so we wanted to celebrate and kind of send them off. Yeah, they left this morning. So we wanted to send them off. Yep, and my grandma. So we did a pool party. But the other thing that we haven't talked about is Mother's Day. So
yes.
We had our Mother's Day brunch, and for the Mother's Day brunch, we do this French toast, and we usually do it for Christmas morning breakfast, and then we will do it for another day.
It's a treat.
It is definitely a treat.
It's very delightful.
The bread is one piece of it. So the bread is one piece, and it's cinnamon. It's frosted.
I was gonna say that icing on top.
Yes, it is frosted, and you buy them in loaves. So we slice them, and then we create a wash for them. The wash consists of heavy cream, brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, a little ginger.
It was phenomenal.
And then we top it off with a caramel syrup.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it right.
May as well. I mean, you've already
that's
committed
the right
to
way to do
unhealthy
that.
lifestyle, so at that point,
I mean, that's why I said you know what? I'm just gonna start working out.
Gotta go hard or go home.
Because
work out so you can eat.
work.
So we had lots of bread from when we bought. I think we bought maybe like 4 or 5 loaves. So we had used 2 for Mother's Day, and then we had 2 left over. So that's how we decided that we were going to do the pool party, and then also use the rest of the bread to make French toast. So we ended up having French toast at like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So
why?
I got a video of it. It was hilarious. Her husband put on this hat. I don't know where the hat came from, but once the hat came out, I just knew it was gonna be good. It all looked good.
It just doesn't make any sense.
We was all the way ready. So that was really good. But Mother's Day was super dope. So we all hung out together on Mother's Day. It
Watched
was
Friends.
Super chill. We sat down, we binge watched a few episodes of Friends. Salita, stop rolling your eyes.
Listen, Friends is the backbone.
It's
of
not.
American
I mean, of the
society.
white American society.
It is. Yes. It's like it. I believe, and I understand that argument because it's only been like 2 Black people on the show like ever. So I totally get that argument. However, if you look at the show as a whole, it was such a it crossed generations. It transcended race and everything, and it brought people together through the love of coffee and jokes. I'm just Del Taco is better.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Now who let him on here?
Right.
What happened? How, Sway?
Talking about Del Taco's better.
Shout out to Devin.
I don't know what he said. No cap.
Loyal Del Taco employee.
But, okay, so this is going to be a very unpopular opinion that I have about Friends. I understand people who do have an issue with Friends being a primarily all-white cast. I also understand the people who feel like Friends stole their storyline from Living Single. I actually completely agree with that. I agree that is what happened, and I see why people feel that way. My unpopular opinion is I don't think there's any. Now, although Friends did have 2 Black people, I don't think it's anything wrong if they didn't have any Black people. I don't think that everyone.
But that's not the reason why I don't watch it.
Everyone has to be included every time.
We'll get to your reason in a second.
Because if we was watching the show with all Black people on it, we wouldn't be sitting there
That's
feeling
my
like.
husband. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'm just kidding.
He has said that was his opinion, and he's just straight on that show because of the lack of diversity.
But we watch shows that have all Black people in them all the time, and it's not a single white person in the entire cast. Was there any white people on Living Single?
No, I mean extras, but not as nobody with an actual storyline. No,
So
not to my knowledge.
I don't watch Friends because I don't like it. It's not. I mean, I'm a
She wasn't
sci-fi
laughing.
person. I'm a sci-fi person, so just about everything I watch doesn't have.
She wasn't
Like,
laughing much at all. I think I saw you smile maybe once or twice.
Me and Kyra would sit next to each other like.
It would be a like chuckle every now and then, but
It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean,
And I watch The Office, so I mean,
to each his own.
Was I laughing super
respect
hard?
your right to not like it.
it's not horrible though. I mean, it's not horrible, but
It's funny.
I don't go out of my way to watch it.
Awful.
It's funny.
It's on every day
What
in the
was you gonna
background. It's on every day in my life. But go ahead.
No, we didn't discuss it, so I don't want to put you on the spot.
No,
But it was
go
kind
ahead.
of towards my point about I don't think there's anything wrong with having spaces that are just for a certain amount of people. Like to me, I think it's sometimes weird when there is something that was created for us and then white people come through and they appropriate it.
Which happens a lot.
But I seen something that I was specifically gonna ask you about your opinion. Actually, you don't have to have an opinion if you're not comfortable with sharing your opinion.
Okay.
But I do want to ask y'all. Recently, this week I actually saw a picture of a white girl who attended historically Black college and joined a Black sorority.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. What's y'all thoughts on
I
that?
I mean, there's Black people who are a part of white sororities.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I actually listened to a podcast that is two Black girls on the podcast, and one of the Black girls on the podcast went to a predominantly white Ivy League school and is a part of like one of the top sororities in the world, and it's all white.
I just feel like people should be free to do what they want to do. If she
Yeah.
wants to be in the Black sorority,
yeah,
sweet. I don't have an issue with it.
yeah, I don't care.
I guess my question is, what was her motivation to be in it? Like, why was she drawn more so to a Black sorority than a white
Well, I mean, if
sorority?
she
But-
chose to go to a Black college.
She went to a HBCU.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
Because I think she graduated. And I could be wrong, but I think she graduated from Spelman. I don't know, but she graduated from all Black school.
I mean, do what you want to do. But,
yeah.
you know.
So the reason Kalia doesn't want to ask me is because I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Right.
Shout out to all the sorors out there. And I believe this young woman is a Delta.
Yes.
And
that's why I was like, I don't know how my mind went here, but I was like, we probably should just talk about
it's
this.
okay. So
Yes, yes.
I didn't have a problem with it. I think when you think of the reasons why you want to join an organization, if those are the women who you look up to, who you aspire to be like, as long as you're not running around saying the N-word,
Yeah.
if that's
Not
who you
being
felt most
disrespectful with
connected to, then by all means, if you qualify, she is good for the organization. She graduated, like you said, with honors. Like she was a part of all these different organizations on campus. So on paper, looking at her, you would think she would be a really good candidate. So I'm all for it.
I agree with all of you guys. So I think.
So what about Rachel? So Rachel can't be
That's different.
okay.
That is different.
Yeah, that is really
We're not gonna go into that, but
Dolafall.
But
Dolafall.
But in the same vein, I do feel like if somebody was to say like no to something, then I think that's different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's anything wrong with us having a space that is interesting. I wonder if we have something that's all Black or we have something that is all white, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the problem comes in if I say, hey, I want to audition to be a part of this, and then they say, no, you can't because you are Black.
Of my
Yeah.
tone.
And that's kind of how I feel about the whole sorority thing, right? Like if she would have said, hey, I want to be a Delta, and they would have said, no, you can't because you're white, I would think that was wrong.
Yeah,
right?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with us creating spaces or entertainment or anything for us, and that being the original purpose, but then still being inclusive enough to say, hey, we're not going to completely outcast anyone else.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So that's my thought. But we had a really dope Mother's Day. We got to relax.
yeah.
We relaxed the entire day.
Yeah, it was a lot of sleep.
Yes.
Yep.
The day before we watched the
X8.
verses.
Yes. Yep.
And
What do y'all think about?
I mean, I roll with S. I'm an SWG fan, so
What do you think about? There was some talk that I heard about Coco possibly like having an attitude.
Mm-hmm. Because they
And
said she was sitting down a lot.
kind of sitting down, but I want to offer up some additional information. I found out later that Coco had just witnessed someone being murdered Like, I don't know if that day or it was very, very recent, very, very
Mhm.
fresh. So that would throw anybody off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she
Yeah.
still showed up and still, did her thing to the best of her ability. So shout out to Coco. Go ahead, girl.
It is the
It's
faces.
hard.
Even if she didn't see anyone, the faces were valid because them escape girls, only 2 of them can sing. Okay.
Well, what's true because I didn't know Tiny could sing ever, and
But-
then on the verses,
She was practicing. She was
She was not
practicing that
practicing.
all for months.
she was not.
She was with her
She
vocal
was like,
coach.
hold on, it's my moment. It's my moment. My husband said, we were watching it yesterday, the replay. He didn't see it. So we were watching it yesterday. And he was like, I forgot Tiny. Like, she can really sing.
She
He was
can.
Like, go ahead on, Tiny. I'm like,
She cool.
I feel like
I mean,
it's
I
a
don't think-
condition where her personal life may have overshadowed
No, she
her
just can't
career
sing.
in some place.
Oh, you talking about? I mean, she can't.
That part.
Her and Candy. Candy sound like a little Billy Goat.
I like Candy.
Yeah.
I like
Candy,
Candy.
but
She can harmonize, but I don't need her to sing by herself.
She won Master.
Where's the sisters?
Tasha can go, both
The
of them.
sisters can blow.
Both of them can blow. Yeah, very talented.
my god!
But I liked it overall. It was nice to see them.
We were full
And
routine.
we were,
Had our
we were
mics.
dancing and
We did. We
All
was
of that.
we had our microphones. It was like
took me
Yeah.
back. Yeah. So that was a good kickoff to Mother's Day weekend to see them, and we had a good weekend.
we did. We had a
No
really,
complaints.
we had a fun-filled weekend. So who did you think was going to win?
I didn't watch it. I still haven't caught it. I fell asleep that night and I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
But I would probably have gone for Escape. Because remember when we were growing up, we had the Escape CDs. So that
Yeah.
was like who I was leaning towards. Remember, that was the red, whatever the red outfit was.
Well, I was telling them when we watched the verses that we had the black and white one, which was the off the hook one.
Oh,
that
I
had
love
the
it too.
CD
Yeah.
cover with the
Yes.
That's like the second.
Yeah.
the phone that was like dangling.
Yeah.
And I know every single song.
I
Yeah.
played that from the
Front to
beginning
back.
to the end.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I was rooting for Escape, but from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound
They
like
showed
they
up.
did.
No, they did fine.
No, they both did an amazing.
It was good.
Both groups did an amazing job. I just think for me, like Escape is like really like nostalgic and like makes it like
Mhm.
reminds me of like a time when I was listening to it.
Mhm.
Whereas when SWV sing, you just can't deny
That they have.
that you feel it all in
Yeah.
your body.
They are
Soul.
sisters with
Mhm.
voices.
Spoke to
And
my
I don't
soul.
feel anything in my soul. But
It's dead inside.
what's the
Did you
word?
say Escape is dead inside?
No, I can't. I didn't want to mess up the word. But it sounds really good on the inside of my
She
brain.
feel dead inside when she listens to
Ratchery.
So,
the story of it all.
so y'all really think that was Tiny singing in real life though?
Yeah.
She just practiced. She got the best vocal coach, and she said, "When my part come on right here,
I would tell
I am gonna tear it apart." You see how they was acting in the audience? They made them sing the song again. They was in there.
What
her,
song was
Her
it?
people were in there acting like.
Is it like a new
was-
song?
Do you
or-
want to?
No.
Was that it? Do you want
Oh,
to?
yeah. She has always been able to sing, though,
That's
y'all.
why
I mean, if she can, I can.
I love somebody.
I can hold me a little note.
I don't know. I honestly don't think her voice is showcased much in the group. Maybe that's why we think that. But that little brand she had,
She did good, but
She
she
did
thinks that was not her.
Who do you think is somebody in the back?
I don't. I think it was the member of SWV.
You know what? She
was doing her solid.
Look, she been practicing so long that T.I. and everybody in the audience, when she got done, they was screaming because they was like, "You did it! You did it! I did it!"
But that's actually my point. Is that everyone was shocked, like worldwide, and even in that building, even the other members of Escape
That's why-
said,
Ooh,
So everybody
I
was
swear, I
surprised.
think it's because she doesn't get enough shine. in
look
the
at Tiff.
group.
She bringing out the
And
positive.
we haven't heard her voice.
She said,
enough
"I'm about to
know
do
she
something because I was
has
having
it.
all these issues in my personal life. So I'm gonna get up here and blow, and maybe it will
Everybody
just
forget
distract
about it?
everything else."
You go ahead and wipe everything away like nobody knows.
Yep.
Well, I am going to catch up and watch it.
You have to
And-
watch it, and you're gonna be in full concert. Because I definitely
Okay.
was in full concert. We was in full concert. I was listening on Apple. They have it where they do the verses, like they'll have all the songs they had,
Mhm.
and we just going through them. I like. There's about 3 Escape songs that I like.
"Wildin'."
3 or
You say
4.
three?
4.
In your whole life.
They only got 4 songs.
Nigga, what?
Go. What's the songs? Go ahead.
I'm not doing this because I don't like
Did
them
you
like
just say
that.
Escape only has 4
She
songs?
did.
It's a joke. I know y'all stand for them. I'm not gonna do this.
Now listen. Now I understand why being honest, and if we being completely
I like
they didn't
music.
have
I like
enough
people that can
songs.
really sing well. And if you can't sing well, then I don't want to hear you. I mean, I love your music, but I like SWV better.
But they definitely still didn't have enough songs. So
Both of them did.
Obviously,
Okay.
they're
but I
they
mean-
doing songs that Candy wrote, didn't even sing on.
they did No Scrubs and they did
Yeah.
Bills.
But
Bills
you know
is
what?
good.
I feel like some of the verses that I've watched when the people in groups are also producers, they were like playing some of the songs that they wrote.
I think you can include. I think they added where you could add the producing in, but the thing is that they didn't know. They didn't have it, and all of them didn't have. So Coco started singing her music. Then
Her solo music.
I mean, that was my fear.
Did
was
Candy
that-
do that too? No, Candy just sung the songs that she
wrote.
Yeah.
was just want to stun on everybody and say, "Look,
Candy was like, listen, I got this brilliant.
That was a fear
I got
because
this
I feel like
brilliant.
SWV and Escape didn't have like. I feel like SWV. I don't know what the albums are for SWV to be honest. Escape only really had like 2
they
albums.
did."
So, and when you think of the mainstream songs, it was probably like 2 or 3
That exactly. That's why I said they only got 2 songs.
of like hits.
Because y'all had the way y'all talk about this album was like y'all had this CD and there was none other. So you like the front, y'all know the words to this
I feel like you're
song.
coming for us right
Yes. That's why y'all standing for them. I choose Escape.
I can tell you where each member of the group was standing on the CD.
And see, that's why they're your favorite. And I was like, that was SWV.
And how many albums does SWV have?
I don't know, but I like all of them.
It doesn't matter. They're all my favorites.
It was a great era. Of
It
music.
was.
And actually, they were both on certain. I think it was Above the Rim. They were both on the same
Oh,
soundtrack, and they were realizing that they have a lot more, in common.
Tiff is our music. She knows all the songs.
Yes.
I do, especially old school. I'm the old
She
school
knows everything.
connoisseur.
Yes.
Let me tell y'all something. Nothing was funnier this week than watching Tiff try to explain to Tally who Chris Cross was.
You remember that group Crisscross from the '90s that wore their clothes?
Jump.
And then
Jump.
as
That's
soon
what
as
I know.
Tiff said they used to wear their clothes backwards, Tally face said,
My face was like,
why would someone do
why
that?
was they? So I actually Googled a picture of them. I showed. I mean, that was back when everything was
I wish I was there for that.
oversized and everything. So I was showing her, and she's looking like, y'all were crazy back then.
Because during the pool party, Jump came on, so we was like,
Oh.
jump,
I
and
know all
the
the words
kids,
to that too.
and all our kids was looking at us like,
What in the
But you
world?
want to know something that's the ultimate blessing? The ultimate blessing is that individuals can have parties during the day where normal people.
Oh,
Hello? Because I wasn't out there because I work.
can
and
I
go
just say
into work.
It must.
Listen,
It must.
Okay.
I
have to drive to work.
I just need a job where I'm able to have this flexibility.
But I
Same.
work on Detroit time, so I log in at 5 a.m.
She don't have nothing to say. She said she gonna be quiet on this
I
part.
log in at 5 a.m. I'm done
Sip,
working
sip.
at 2 because
Sip tea.
I'm on a different time zone. So it looks different than it looks worse than me. I
I know. I just be. Everybody know I just be playing with them.
Maybe not every day, but I work.
I work
A lot.
very hard.
You do. I just be. You have just flexible jobs. I don't
Yes.
have one.
and that,
That's
I mean,
true.
that is
That's a
fair.
blessing.
I do have an extremely blessing.
Meanwhile, I'm
You
asking,
do.
can I go to Disney World? And she's like, is your team up and running?
Oh,
So I'll be working. You gonna
So-
be working at Disney? Then when we fly in on that Thursday.
So I went to Walgreens earlier this week and I was talking to a young lady in there and I think I'm starting to get the mask me stuff. So for everybody who doesn't know, for most of the pandemic, I worked from home and it was really rough because my husband was gone and I was literally at home all day and we had some other stuff going on. So it was just really, really tough. And now I'm going into work and I missed it. And people are like, how long does it take you to get to work? 45 minutes. Woo. And I like it. Like, I like driving into work. I like being able to interact with people again. Like, I truly missed that part of it. I don't like the mask me. And thank you for
That mask
all
is
of
real.
the chemical peel stuff.
You gotta keep your face clean when
Let me tell you.
Shout out to all our listeners, okay? If y'all need any help with y'all skincare, just drop down into my DM and I will help get y'all together. I know it's hard for y'all to believe that I know what I'm talking about
She
because I
does.
show up on here every week looking like a glow ball, but that is because
That's all good skin in there.
That exactly.
Yes.
That is because I am very well hydrated and I cannot rinse it away.
So I posted the red mask on my Instagram one day, and somebody was like, "You look like the girl. What was the movie where she like bleeds from her face?" Carrie.
So you were using the
see,
A.
I use the
I'm like, listen, I don't want to see it. Whatever it
It
is.
does look like blood on your face.
But I miss the flexibility of being able to work from home. But I also I think I miss the interaction of being in the office a little bit more.
A lot of people say that. Like my coworkers was like, I just miss being away from my kids and driving into that.
That's how it was when I first
That's
moved here. That's why, yeah. And I'm look at me back
driving into work, you know.
I would like to never go back.
I'm fine.
I'm like Tiff on this one. Like I'm not going back to jail.
My job is in California, so I won't be going back.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I would like to never go back.
Listen, I'll do whatever you need me to do. I just do not want to go into the office. Spoiled.
So speaking of not going back, all week people been talking about how Portia went back to that woman's husband.
Woo!
And I need my sisters to tell me how
Lord.
y'all feel.
We
Kyra, you
cannot
can
talk
go
about
first. Yeah, we can't. Well, how can we not talk about it?
cannot
It's
talk
all
about
everybody
it.
been
We have
talking
to.
about all week. How do you feel about the internet being ablaze with how Portia manages her vagina?
So I am a married woman, and I have a very unpopular opinion about it. As someone who watches reality TV shows, I understand the behind the scenes of the scripted part. So for everyone to reference, oh, this is Portia's friend, and she was introduced on the show as Portia's friend, I feel like it was just something that the cast did. I think she was the most connected to Portia. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason that she was the one who was introduced. But to me, it seems like Fallon is okay with the divorce. And I think what a lot of people are forgetting is that when you get to the terms of divorce, even if there's one person that may want to stay, we all know that the relationship is over at that point, right? And so I think regardless of like where they stand, Fallon and Simon, I don't think Portia is the person that broke up the marriage. Like, I don't think it was her that came in. I think the marriage was already on its last leg and somebody had to be on their way out, whether it was Fallon or Simon. And they were like, you know, this is what it is. So I'm on Portia's side. Girl, get that bag, okay? If I could go back to when I was 18,
I probably would say she has. I don't like. I was about to say poor.
18,
And
baby.
then the word that I don't like management.
Poor pussy management.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have, you know, I would have. What did 50 Cent say? Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Portia. Get the bag, sis. Get the bag.
So how y'all
We're
feel?
gonna wait for you. You want to be last, don't you? I think she wants to be last. Okay. What about you, Selena?
She's just so.
Yes.
I guess, I get what you're saying. I get what Kyra is saying about you having, she meeting with her in the show and all this, that, and the other, right? But this lady was in your house. They taped the show last year.
Hello.
In your house, in your pool, Kiki. Her husband's own hot dog stands and bars.
Her husband got the meat. My husband got the meat.
So something happened. I just think it's weird. That's just like me meeting one of y'all friends, and I know that friend. Just it's just. And then and her husband is there, and then 2 months later, you see me with her husband.
It's messy.
But that girl,
I don't like. My thing is, if that's what you're gonna do, then own it. Like the whole lying about it and all that. You know what you did. Just own it, and it just is what it is.
Because
like,
if somebody did that to her, she would be mad.
You know she would. You know it would be an issue. And there's all this speculation that maybe that's why she didn't want the details of the whole whatever happened at the little party with the stripper and all that to come out, because she had this whole deal on the back burner with my man, with whatever his name. What is her name?
Because sis been saying she's single all season.
Simon.
So
Yes. So she knew she had something cooking with Simon. So she's like, I can't let this other stuff come out because they're gonna find out about that. You know what I mean? So it's just so my thing is if that's what you're gonna do, just do it. And why the secrecy and the dates, like trying to match dates up that don't really match up and all kind of stuff. Like he was in January, he wrote this long like letter about how he loves his wife and what this was January of this year.
It's that part for me though that like as much as I agree with what you were saying, as far as like, okay, well, somebody files for divorce, the relationship is already over at that point. But it's the post that Tiff is referring to me, which if y'all file for divorce, how you declaring your love?
Yeah, that didn't match up. It seems like he's just trying to save face. And just, I mean, if you're one of these guys who you know.
But he's trying to say that they got a divorce because she cheated on him.
Mm-hmm. So you're trying to drag her through the mud, but buddy, you ain't clean either. So people who live in glass houses,
just y'all both out here being whores.
Yeah,
and that's my thing. That's what you do on it. And Portia, if you get into the bag, that is what you're doing.
Yeah.
But just do it and don't be all like trying to front like you're not. Like everybody sees you, girl. We see you. So just own it and just be who. If you bought your bread and that's what you want to do, and
I just feel whatever she's about to say is you can just feel the build up.
You can see her.
The build up. Like, oh, I can't wait till I drop this on them.
Like it's just I'm trying to stall because I know it's gonna be dope.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
The other thing I will say is I don't feel like Portia owes Fallon anything. I feel like if anything, it's a conversation between Dennis and Simon because that's a relationship that Dennis had with him.
It seemed like they're pretty cool.
And it did seem,
it
seemed very weird. I want to also say it's not something that I would do. But I think a lot of people, I'm not going to do this. But the other thing I think a lot of people are considering, and when we talk about it, the separation is still too close. Like a lot of people, you have to really think, we were saying like coworker. Like what if this is your coworker that you work with every day or you work with once a day and then that coworker starts to date your husband?
That's right.
Like it's not a real friendship or relationship. It's a acquaintance,
or association. I know you, and we can talk about this later about the difference between being friendly and having a friendship. But I just know you. Does that mean I have an allegiance to you?
No.
So there's one.
Yeah, I mean, so I definitely think there is
was wild.
I definitely think that there is a difference, and I think that comparing or saying that like Fallon is her friend, the very first thing that Portia said when she came out and released her statement is Fallon and I are not friends. And I personally feel like if I was friends with someone and they came out and said we weren't friends, I have something to say. Like I'm going to respond. So the fact that Fallon didn't say anything about that to me does make me believe that it was more of a coworker situation. As much as we like reality TV and as much as we're entertained by it, we all know that this shit is not real. We all know that they put them into these situations. They put them in relationships that they wouldn't normally be in. Right. Even on this season's reunion show on Real Housewives, Marlo and Kenya seem to have been friends and made up. And Marlo said on the reunion show that she hadn't seen, talked to, or been to Kenya's house since they filmed, since the episode that we saw on the show. So I think that when we're looking at reality TV, we're looking at what we consider friendships. And what we should really be looking at these relationships like is more like coworkers. Not even real coworkers, because to your point about seeing this person every day, they don't have to see each other every day. They don't even have to see each other from one season to the next because of the way they rotate the cast members out. So I think that it's even a step below coworkers, maybe like a contractor.
But from what I knew, so I watched the Fallon interview on Candy.
Oh, okay.
And Fallon was saying they knew, her and Portia knows each other because of their husbands, and that they've hung out. Like it wasn't like they never knew. It's just still crazy. That's just like you going out with one of Brian's friends. You know what I mean? And then no, you bring somebody. You guys are both married, and y'all bring. You know what I'm trying to say.
And then you end up with the other girl husband.
Then you'll be looking like
everybody at the table should be looking.
Someone right about this. There was something that
it's just
So do y'all look at it sideways when people, like a spouse dies and the person who is
Same
still
thing.
living marries the like best friend of the spouse or something, or
I actually
the
think
brother,
that's worse.
the brother of the,
I can't.
I actually think that is worse.
you know what I'm talking about?
I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for this man, right?
I wouldn't have asked that question had I known. A little close to home.
I think it's worse. I think it's absolutely worse when your spouse dies and you. What? This was a who married? It was
It
what
happens
president?
a lot.
Some president's son remarried the
Oh
other
gosh,
brother's
who
widow.
was that? Was that
Oh, I don't know U.S. history that well.
darn it?
I can't think
It's
of who
gonna
the-
bother me.
Yeah, I can't think of who the person was.
I know
but
who you're talking about.
It was two brothers, and one of the brothers died, and the other brother married the brother's wife. He married his sister-in-law.
That's biblical.
And it goes. That's a good point, though. It does. It goes all the way back. There is scandal.
It's-
The Bible is so scandalous. There's
it's
so many
just-
stories.
It's just
Okay. It's not new.
They like, I mean, what's better in the bloodline than the brother?
But it's weird. But the crazy part that's weird. All their Portia and Dennis' daughter is young. Then you have this new. It's just weird.
It is
Yes.
very weird.
When he's in that Mother's Day picture and she's like, "Are you
hugged up with
like,
his
are you
brother,
serious?
like,
It's a clown."
brother
Still
husband.
cool. In my mind, I'm gonna be honest.
They drinking together, smoking cigars together.
When I saw that picture, I saw Portia hugged up on my man's, and I saw Dennis sitting there cheesing like this,
Looking
and
like
I felt like
security.
that cheese was saying, "Your turn, brother."
Yep.
Yeah, it
You
was a
about to
little.
yell. Now that's your
Yep.
issue
He was
right
like,
now.
"Back her
You know, like
So even though I am like Team Portia, I'm only Team Portia because I feel like the internet is just dragging her way too much.
Well, because they should.
these are the consequences for your
All the way
actions.
on the concrete down the street, naked.
Oh, I don't feel like she deserves to be dragged as much as she is.
Because she didn't have to put this out there, which is why she deserves to be dragged. When you live your life publicly,
This is true.
and
I guess
I'm
you're
going
right.
to regret saying these words.
Yeah.
But when you, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I am generally so private. Like, I just feel like a lot of stuff that people do is, I don't believe that most of the things that people do is malicious. I think that most people, you grow up a certain way, you were raised, like you don't necessarily know. And when I say no, I don't mean like you're stupid to the fact that you weren't raised that way. I mean, you don't necessarily know how things that you do or things that you say impact other people. So I think that a lot of times when you actually know someone and when you care about someone, then you focus more on intention. So when you do, at least that's how I am. To me, it is hard for me to believe that people who I genuinely care about mean bad. You know, like I just don't think that the people who I say I care about and want in my life would mean me any harm. So if someone was to say, "Oh, Portia is sleeping with this man, and you know he was married and they was friends," and I think because most of us that have an opinion, we don't know her, we don't know her heart, we don't know her intentions, we don't know who she truly is. So I'm sure people close to her, they would have that grace for her where they would be able to say, well, I know that this isn't really who you are, and I know the real story about how this all came about.
Man, Portia stuff has been out there for a minute.
Yes. Yes.
This is not, in my mind, I wasn't surprised.
I wasn't either.
This has been kind of
I
her
wasn't surprised
character.
either.
This is who she is. So I honestly, I wasn't surprised.
And I almost feel like when we talk about like how desperate Kenya has been, looking back at previous seasons since Portia's divorce, she's been just as desperate.
Yeah.
I think she brought that one man on there where she was trying to marry him and have a baby, and then she brought, then Dennis comes along and now she's pregnant, and I think it's like footage out there where she was trying to say like she just wanted to get like she I like Portia, but
she's easily had a different man each season she's been on the
Facts.
show.
I think her mom is a motivation for her too. To be honest, I think her mom was probably in her ear like, "Girl, you better get that bag right now.
Because
You're
I
still
need
young and
I need
juicy,
mine
girl.
right here.
You young and juicy. You better use what you got to get what you want."
So Tim, you feel like her mama is her number one pimp?
absolutely.
I don't. Okay,
She's not gonna say it.
let me qualify
She's
it.
not
I have
gonna
not
say
watched the show in a long time, but the first season when Portia was on there and she was all dingy and she was married to the one dude, from that observation, yes, I believe her mother is straight up her pimping, been pimping her since pimping.
Yep.
And when you think of how her mother is and the relationship, like how Lauren is the result of the father cheating or something like that, I think you kind of, unfortunately, not to be very like psychological, or I think it's just like a makeup of like what she saw growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like these are things that were okay. So
you better get what you.
It's normal for her to be like, oh, you know, that was my so and so. Now I'm gonna be with this so and so. You know. So.
It's just weird. And the thing is not, and the story is probably, you know how many people go through life with this same story?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they're the same ones in the comments. Oh, she's a whore.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing.
But that's why I said intent, right?
Yeah.
Because when it's your situation, you look at it differently than you do when it's somebody else. Even if it's somebody who you care about or somebody who you know, you look at it differently.
Yeah.
And if your life was in front of a microscope.
Yikes.
Okay? Because I'm far from perfect. I got issues. And I know if my stuff was on display, people would have stuff to say too. You know, so I just try not to be too hard on them. But in this scenario, I think it was shady.
But you don't think people know that when they go into these situations? Like, you don't think that, reality TV not new at this point. So you don't think when people decide, you know what, okay, I'm going to take this leap and I'm going to become a public figure, I feel like that's a conversation that I would be having with myself where I'm like, girl, you realize that you are literally opening yourself up.
You out there now, girl, so you might want to.
It is weird because then they get mad because you're like, oh, you guys are. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't think they fully recognize, because I don't even recognize it sometimes, like how social media has just taken over, you know?
Completely changed the game.
Like you can be out and paparazzi will catch a picture of you and all of a sudden you done slept with every man that you've been on a date with. And it's like, I just took a picture, like I'm just out to dinner with my friend.
It could be your cousin. You could be kicking it with like a family friend or friend. It's like all of a sudden y'all sleeping together. It's the scandal. And
I don't think I can do it though.
Fucking y'all play cousins.
Here we go. It had y'all, you know.
So
what's coming soon?
I mean, some of y'all do.
So what do you think? So what do you think about Portia bringing her child into this?
Yeah. I was just talking about this with my husband this morning.
What did you say?
I said 1, 2, 3, not it.
I'll go. Okay. I was just talking to my husband about this morning, and he said it really depends on the age of the child, the developmental capacity of the child. Like, is the child mature enough to handle that? And he said that he doesn't think it should happen until you're close to or considering or even have a discussion of marriage.
Right.
Okay. And I feel the same way. If it's not going to be serious enough to where I think you're going to be around for a while, I'm not even going to bring my children or whatever into the.
And she called them co-parents.
Yes,
she
co-parenting.
did.
She said they were co-parenting. So Tiff, I have to disagree with you on this one.
Okay.
I feel like it's too late at that point. I feel like the last thing I would, especially if you are a committed parent, because just like some of y'all be out here sleeping with y'all cousins, some of y'all be out here being trash parents to y'all kids. And in that same vein, if you are the level of parent that I am, I don't want to wait until I'm in love with this man and until I know I want to spend the rest of my life with you to introduce you to my kids, because that part is a huge component. Like even if my kids love you to death, if I don't like the way y'all interact, then at that point it becomes a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like because that's hard, because now you got to decide like now I'm like all in. And I think the worst part about you being all in is you may not see things that you would have normally saw because you all in love and you know the roses is all in your eyes, glasses.
That's a good point. And then your kids might see stuff that you know you don't see.
Yep.
That's a good point.
I don't have children, but I would have to side with you on that one.
So
I would prefer earlier.
The right time, then?
I think it's also a discussion that both parents should have, right? I don't know if it's necessarily a right time, but in this instance, because it's Dennis and Portia, I think that's a conversation that they should have and say, hey, this is somebody I'm dating. This is somebody I'm serious about. I want to introduce, and especially because it's a girl. I think any gender, it doesn't matter, but especially a woman, because you're bringing another man into the mix. And I think it just is important that both parents are on the same page as far as like, do I want this other person around my daughter or around my child in general? And I'm back and forth because I do think it's a little more important when it is a little girl. But I mean, obviously in 2020, we know, or 2021, we know that molestation can happen to any gender. Yeah, but I really do think both parents should be on the same page. Not necessarily, not that I need your permission, but that we've had a discussion about this and that I respect your opinion enough as a parent to include you in decisions that we make about our child. Not that I'm a, do what you do.
But it's wondering, like, because he would be like, "Nah, I'm not going to."
He says no, and still he's telling you like, and I think that's why it's a delicate conversation, because it never should be framed as a question of, is it okay? It's more of a, hey, this is somebody I'm serious about. This is what the deal is, and they're going to meet our child.
I feel like if it was the other way around, you want to know.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, he done had my child around this woman. I don't know who this woman is and all that. So I think it's a mutual respect type thing too.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point. And then I also feel like it should be some time. Like, I don't think that you should. Now, she said 1 month. I'm not introducing nobody to my kids after 1 month.
Nope.
But on the flip side, I'm actually going to shoot Portia some bail on this one. She on reality TV. So a lot of times the stuff that we don't necessarily expose our kids to is because us not exposing them to it means that they don't even never know that it happened. Portia could never introduce her kid to no man, and just because she's a public figure, her daughter could Google her and find out everybody that she ever dated. So to me, I think for Portia it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
that's true. But I'm like, when I seen 1 month, I was like, yikes. It's no way.
You don't know this man in a month.
No,
she don't.
You don't. And for you to bring her
so
child,
it's because they've been together for longer than a month.
I think they could have.
Is she pregnant?
Good point too, though. Allegedly,
and she's pregnant where she's wearing like the shirt,
the flowy shirt. So it's been some months.
You don't get out of here.
You don't start showing until after what? 3-4 months. So
y'all think they've been together for like a year at least?
I think it could have been a month.
It's no telling.
I think it could have been a month.
It's been longer than a month though.
Are y'all saying y'all think that Simon is PJ dead real daddy?
I think it. I'm not saying
PJ is PJ. Oh my
God.
It's Dennis with ponytails.
Did she get mad at somebody for saying that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't understand, because to me it says more about what you think about your man than what I think about your man. And you insulted by me saying your baby look like your man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you like, dang, they got his ugliness.
But I'm like, to me that says more about what you think about your man.
Yep.
And then what I think about him. Because somebody tell me Kennedy looks just like him, and if anybody says it, I'm not gonna be what I look like being mad. Like, what you trying to say about my baby? Girl, what you trying to say about your man?
This is true.
So I do think it could have been just 1 month of dating.
Really?
I think it's not impossible.
It could have happened on the first time.
Okay.
Like on the
I want to hear this. Go ahead, Kyra. I'm like, girl.
She said like on the teen pregnancy.
The first time I ever did it, I got pregnant.
I'm not talking about the pregnancy. I'm talking about her, the way that she feels. I think it is possible. I think sometimes you see relationships where people have dated for years and then they get married and then they divorce in 2 years. But then you have situations like Kenya. No, I'm kidding. I don't like Kenya. I am not team Kenya. So if anybody watches this, you will see I don't like her.
So that's why you like Portia so
I'm going to throw shade at Kenya. Possibly.
Because they hate one another.
Yeah, they're arch enemies.
Yeah, that may be why.
So we got little sis Chris in the comments. She said she liked the way you worded that, Kyra.
Thank you. I don't remember.
Selena came through and worded it in a despicable way.
Hi, Chris. Hey, sis. But I do think it's possible for you to meet somebody and know, like Brian and I dated. I knew after our first date that I was going to marry him. I did.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
But would you have introduced your kids to him?
Not after the first date. No.
Oh. So I just would love to hear. He said, "You think it's been a month?"
I think it's possible.
I'm trying to understand.
You said at least a
I need
month?
more information.
I think
She already 3 months pregnant.
So
I
they
need more
could have like
information.
started, and I think that's the one thing that Fallon is contesting in the
Yes.
divorce is the
That's the one thing
separation
we're all
date
contesting.
because of
She a lie.
It's the
No,
one
it's a lie, and the truth ain't in you.
One
So-
month?
Here.
God, come on now. I know you like
think
Portia, but you can't be serious.
I think it's been longer than a month, but I do think it's possible to fall in love with somebody in less time than a month.
I agree.
But Portia is definitely, from when I saw that video and the way she like cupped her stomach, I said, "Oh," and she caught herself, like she like did it so quick, you know.
Mhm.
And Portia is just known for wearing skimpy clothes. Like, girl, why you
All
got
of
this
a
movie
sudden, you
on?
got these flowy dresses.
But
and
then again,
whatnot.
she was at home.
So you don't think it's been a month either, is what you're saying? You're saying that it's possible, but you don't believe it in this scenario.
Portia, girl, I love you,
But what?
but it ain't. It's been more than a month.
Yeah.
It's been more than a month.
Oh,
So when would you introduce your kids to somebody who you were dating?
I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait to the last minute to do it right before you guys are deciding to get married, because now your child has to get to know this man in a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have to be at that point where you feel like that guy could be a part of your life.
you think
forever.
he could be the one?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, okay, I don't know. No, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
it could happen.
Like, I can see this being a thing.
I don't know.
So, because I've been around, so Devin was very young.
Mm-hmm.
When was he introduced to Ken?
That's a really good question, and I don't remember. Maybe
Because I feel like he was at Devin's first birthday, right?
no, I did invite him to the
Okay.
birthday, but he didn't come to the first party. He didn't come to Devin's first birthday party, but I did invite him, so we were already like talking then. But it had been maybe 3 months, but that's why I was talking about variables, right? Because
I'm just playing. Because Portia is 3 months pregnant.
you so stupid. But that's why I spoke about variables. I don't think that there is anything wrong with Portia introducing her daughter to Simon, even if it's been a month, because her life is out there in the public.
Mm-hmm.
My situation, I was a single parent. He was with me all the time. And when it's kind of hard to date when you don't necessarily have all of those same resources like that. And not to mention, he was like 1 year old. So in real life, I'm not on TV and I don't post a lot on social. There's like no, like if something would have happened where Ken and I didn't work out, Devin would not have remembered him.
So do you think it's possible that Pilar may not remember this whole
She
situation?
remembers
Maybe she's
everything.
going
What
to,
if she is
see the
because
news
of the-
clippings.
Yeah,
This
it's on,
is stupid.
on the internet.
She's
It's
gonna
on the
remember.
interweb.
She's gonna
All you
remember
have to do is
everything.
search her name and it's a hashtag. And she'll-
Exactly.
And kids are disgusting. So let me tell you something. If Pilar forgets, all of the friends down to the school go remind
All
her.
of them. Poor baby. Okay.
Oh.
So
Poor
I
Dennis.
think Portia did the right thing in this instance of just kind of putting it out there for her because she gonna know anyway. Like, but yeah, okay. We gonna pray for Pilar. She gonna need therapy when she get older.
Yep.
How old is she now?
I think she's like 3,
Maybe almost 2 or 3. Yeah, she's still really young.
She knows something ain't right.
Why you feel like she knows something ain't right?
'Cause that is just too much.
It's
So
a
do
lot.
y'all think Simon and Portia stand a chance? Like, do y'all think
No.
that y'all can see
No.
No, based on the young lady that's come out that he's been driving
Jessica
around
Harris?
town.
Is that her
Mhm.
name?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I'm about to read him all the way from top to bottom. Okay,
Mhm.
so my man is not very attractive.
He has really
can we
nice
say
teeth
that? His teeth are amazing.
though, and it
Can
could just be
we
the dark
say
skin.
he's
in the
not
back
the
then.
most attractive man?
No.
Okay. Now, so he went out and he got himself a career because you gotta pick a struggle. Okay. If you're gonna be unattractive, you have to have something else going for you, right? So he went and he got the business going, right? So now he's worth $40 million allegedly. Okay, so now he's doing all those things with all these women that he could never get because he wasn't all that attractive in the beginning. So he's not done with Portia. He's not done with her. He's not done with the other chick that came forward and said that they were dating in the interim between him and Portia's announcement that they were engaged. I don't believe this man will be satisfied because he's just at this point insatiable. He's living out because he might have been like that high school dude that watched all the football jock players get the girls. Like just examples. You know what I mean? So I honestly don't think they will last.
I think you are
I don't think they'll last
I think
the
they're
distance.
spot on
I think
with
they'll
you,
be
yeah.
around for a little bit. I don't think they're going to go a distance. No.
I just hope it don't end like Mark and Kenya.
I think it.
Because I'm rooting for Portia. I hope Sean married
I
that man.
hope
on the
she
big
finds
screen.
some kind of a good place. Sis Chris says, so wait, how did the baby respond? Oh, talking about Pilar.
Because Selena said that the baby didn't respond well to the relationship.
Oh, y'all just for that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
So Selena felt like the baby
Is not for it. She said, I'm going to hot dog man stand today. I think that dad sells hot dogs. And my other
Not that
one,
dad.
it works at a club.
But
So in real, okay, so I got another question for y'all. In real life,
I'm not ready.
in real life, $40 million. Not we all married, so not leaving your husband, but you single.
And it was
And
one of
your
your
coworker, not coworkers.
Did you say hoe?
The contractor.
Did you say hoe worker? Did you say hoe worker? Okay.
So
We had to make sure.
I heard it too. I tried it. It just didn't.
All right, I'm gonna exit stage list.
No, you stand when we finish talking about these coworkers. But the contractor down at your job, the people who come and run Food Truck Thursday every Thursday. You see them every blue moon.
The analogies. Is it a hot dog?
I love it.
It is a hot dog. That person's husband is worth $40 million.
It's like $1 million.
Y'all, he said he interested, and y'all gonna be like, nah, because I'm loyal to the hot dog stand on Thursdays.
So they do say the first time you marry for love. The second time you marry for money.
I just feel like
So 40 mil?
because
I ain't signing no prenup.
this is why people are rich and unhappy though. Like does money equate to happiness?
But I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this person is interested in you. I'm not saying that it goes anywhere. I'm not even saying that they ever get married. I'm saying,
But
do you turn that person away because you are somehow loyal to the girl who run the hot dog stand at your job on Thursdays?
You got kids?
One,
You single? Okay.
you're a single parent.
No boyfriend?
Nope.
Okay.
You so single. You so single. You out here fucking strippers.
if it's that deep, I'm going.
You
You
know,
probably need to consider your options in that.
Right.
shade against my girl Portia. She said she ain't sleep with that stripper, okay?
Okay.
Girl. I'll
So
take
you
Frank.
going? You going?
I'm gonna think real hard about it.
Yeah.
You just wanna
I'm
take
not gonna
all
say
that?
I'm not gonna say I wouldn't.
And she just gave me my chili cheese dog.
That's all she do.
That's all she do.
Yep.
We don't kick it like that.
I mean,
Well, y'all
if
go
she
to the-
see, oh my God, this is my boyfriend Jerome. Jerome, that's my.
He's gonna feign ignorance. He's
I didn't even know.
Oh my God.
I thought he looked familiar. I didn't really know, you know.
Oh my goodness.
I thought he looked familiar.
Then I get a call like, girl, she see me.
So do it go a step further? If you had a hot dog lady down from the job, cater a party at your house, and then now you, your husband, their husband, y'all all hanging out, you still going on that first date?
How old am I?
You 35. Your best years is behind you.
Hey, you still juicy at 35.
I'm saying, because, you know.
Okay.
No, my pastor said after 27, you bitches slowly downhill
It's over
from
with.
here.
Dang. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have to really think real long and hard about
All
it.
right. Well, since y'all not gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. I'm going on the date.
I would go on the date too.
I'm going on the date.
Cause she had just a hot dog lady.
Yes. How you know that's not how Portia feel about Fallon?
That's not the same.
Because she was at her house.
Yes,
But in my scenario,
And your husbands know each other. This is not.
So Kalia, you have the house party or party.
I mean,
same thing. House party, party house. Can you think of anybody that has come over your house as an acquaintance?
Oh.
And like, how would that make you feel?
Oh.
I wouldn't care.
Okay.
I wouldn't care. But
I only say that because I know we have a lot of people that will just like come over one time or to a friend that was in town. Like you met her once.
Mm-hmm.
She met you.
Mm-hmm.
You have a pool. Mm-hmm. Maybe y'all got in while she was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
I care if me and Kim broke up
and you and Kim
got
broke
with
up.
his friend. No, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
But I say this all the time. Like I genuinely like my husband. Like outside of the fact that I'm in love with him and we're married and all of these amazing things, I genuinely like him.
Mm-hmm.
So if for whatever reason he decides one day that I don't make him happy, I still want him to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care who that is. Like I have in my real life, I have had a person who I thought was my friend sleep with someone that I had been in a prior relationship with. And I don't hold it against neither one of them.
Well, for me, once it's an ex, I don't really care who. Everybody is somebody ex's.
But that's the same you said me. You said
I know.
And me and Kim were
together. I was just phrasing it for you to like make it more reality. Like, because I know this is something that happens. Like, we have people over to your house. It's possible that they may have been over there once or twice. And how would you feel? So that was all.
So Chris in the comments, she said, yes, she agrees she wouldn't care if we did not have any friendship. So that brings me to my last question then before we wrap up. And do y'all think it's a difference between being actual friends with somebody and being friendly with someone?
Yes,
it is.
Because Portia could have been hanging out with her in her pool. They could have been going out on double dates, and she could have still just been considering herself being friendly.
But it's still the how did you guys say it? The separation. Mm-hmm. So it's Portia, Dennis, and my man's.
We real close here.
It's like a circle.
We're real close here. That's what I'm saying.
How many business meetings do you go on with your husband?
Like none.
So it's the same thing, right? Because that was Dennis's business associate.
But then I think it's so if you happen to see them out and then you're like, oh, that's my, you still know who that person is, and it's still.
I guess Sis said in the comments, Chris say, now if me and my homegirl kicked it and she knew my life, then she was with my man after we ended kicking.
Definitely.
After we ended kicking done.
She done.
Yes,
I agree. So I guess it's the level of association. How well do we associate? How well do you really know me? In this case, though, Portia knew they kicked it though, and we knew each other because of our husband's working relationship.
And then you got on the show together.
Then got on the show together, so it's not like this is somebody like. There's a loose association with. Like to me, that just was too much for me.
All right. Well, that's it for our episode 10. Do you know episode 10?
It's crazy.
Our podcast is officially in the double digits.
I'm proud of y'all.
What I need you all to do right now, if you haven't already,
they gotta back up and get a starting run.
Get a starting run, jump up in the air, and come down on that like button, that share button. Tell a friend, a cousin, associates. Tell everybody in your circle. Tell everybody in your circle that we are here every Saturday. We are real, discussing real life and our lives. And if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss, check us out on the Real Ish Radio Network. We are on the Real Ish Radio app. Download it, www.realishradio app. Also, we're on all streaming platforms. We're on, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music,
Google Podcast.
Google Podcasts. We are here. SISTAZ Talking Ish. Check out our IG page. On IG, we are posting lots of after, like, outtakes and before we start filming and just craziness, us, behind the scenes type stuff. So check us out on IG, SISTAZ Talking Ish. What else?
Kyra, thank you for coming.
I was gonna thank y'all for having me.
And where can they find you?
Oh, I'm gonna give y'all my other Instagram. It's Curly Locked K, CurlyLockdKay.
And why you got a Curly Lock page?
Because I do sister locks. If you can't tell, I have sister locks. So I do sister locks here in the Valley. Very, 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 very part-time because I work full-time. Every time I try to get with them and do something, I'm like, I'm doing hair this weekend. So it's not as part-time as I would like. But
yeah, because even after she agreed to be on the podcast this week, I messaged her back and I was like, wait, you're off. You don't work this weekend, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, because Kyra worked on the weekend, she missed out a little bit.
A lot of it. But thank y'all for having me. This was a lot of fun. I get to watch y'all on my big screen, and I'm gonna go back and rewatch this.
Oh no!
Don't be going there and critiquing yourself and stuff.
I am.
Like Chris said, kudos to us too.
Hey.
This is episode 10.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Yeah.
And check out Chris though. Chris is on the Transparency
Yes,
page on the
Transparency
Real Radio Network as well.
They'll be live tomorrow.
Yeah, we got Cigars with Friends also on the Real Ish Radio Network.
Lane J live.
Yes, live with Blaine J. So check us out with Blaine Jeffries. Check us all out on the Real Ish Radio Network.
Y'all might see me on Chris' podcast.
Oh,
Hey.
you about to go get
I might.
Listen, Chris gonna make you take all your clothes off when you come down.
Very transparent.
Yeah, she don't
I don't know if y'all
play
ready for all this. Yada, 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 yada.
that. All right, y'all. It's been real. See y'all next week.
Hi guys, I'm Kalia.
I'm Salita.
And we want to welcome you to our new podcast called SISTAZ Talking Ish on the Real Ish Radio Network.
So download the app at realishradiooapp.com.
And you can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube and listen to the audio on all streaming platforms. Hope you guys check us out soon.